Welcome you to the Bethany Professional Association's topic for this evening, community colleges, fact versus fiction. We have an amazing panel who will discuss the benefits and advantages of attending a community college. So that should tell you we know what the facts are, right? We're going to separate the fact from the fictions when it comes to the role of community colleges as a part of the higher education landscape. But before we start with introductions, I'd like to ask Dr. Mays to first bless our time together.
Amen.
Dr.
Good
Mays.
evening. Yes, good evening, everyone. Let's look to the Lord. Heavenly Father, we just come to give you thanks, God. Lord, we thank you, God, for allowing us to be in your presence right now. We thank you for the opportunity just to be able to bless those with the information tonight. We're trying to not only add to the education circumstance, the situation, but we're trying to even uplift your kingdom. So we thank you, God, for what you're going to do in this conversation. We ask that souls will be blessed, and we ask that minds will be changed. And we'll continue to give you the praise and the glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Amen. So Dr. Corlette Mays, if you'll introduce yourself and your role within higher education, community colleges.
Okay. Well, I'm Dr. Corlette Mays. I am a retired educator from the Camden City School District. And my role with community college has been to help high school students find their way to community college, to reinforce what the benefits are of community college for our high school students, the different programs that they can enroll in to help them along the way, the financial benefits to it. And over the years, I've counseled hundreds of students to pursue a pathway to community college through
Thank you so
different
much for that.
programs offered by colleges and universities.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Miss Bridget, would
Good
you
evening.
introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Bridget Satchel. I'm the Dean of Career and Technical Education at Rowan College of South Jersey. I've been in higher ed in the community college sector for 25 years now.
Fabulous. And Miss Small, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alicia Small, and I am a current student at Montgomery Community College in Germantown, Maryland. I'm closest to that campus. I just actually finished my coaching certification in the spring, and I'm going back. My classes start in November to take some business courses.
Excellent. And Dr. Mays, if you'll
Yes,
introduce yourself.
thank you. Good evening. Yes, I have a 35-year career in the chemical industry in sales, management, and market development. And on retirement from there, I shifted into education. So I've been teaching business courses at the college level for the last 12 years, teaching at several of the local colleges, including Rowan College of Burlington County in New Jersey, and a small community college over in Pennsylvania called Harcum College. And then there are several schools that I've taught at in the Philadelphia area. But right now, I teach at both of those schools.
Fabulous, fabulous. And again, I'm Jane Ellen Miller. I am the moderator for this evening. I've been in higher education, I'll just say over 40 years. 25 of those were spent in community colleges, including Camden County College, where I was the vice president of IT. I was there for 10 years, but I actually started in community colleges as faculty, teaching English. So, the trajectory or the movement from English to a VP of IT has been very interesting. But I will tell you that the community college sector is my favorite sector to be in. And you'll get it. We'll get into some of the reasons why that is. So let's separate the fact from the fiction. And I'll just start out with just a couple of facts that roughly 40% of undergraduates, that's maybe about 7.7 million students, attend community colleges throughout the United States. Those numbers do not include the millions, like Miss Alicia Small, who are non-degree seeking students and they're seeking certifications. So it is obvious, those kind of numbers, when we say 40% of the undergraduates, that there are people who do recognize the value, but there's still a good number who could benefit from a community college and they don't perhaps understand what it has to offer. And then for others, there's been a stigma that's been attached. And so we want to look at some of that and then focus on what are the real facts. So some of the stereotypes of the community colleges are, and you know, when I started, they actually called them junior colleges as though they were inferior to four-year institutions. They weren't what constitutes what somebody may call a good school, whatever that means. They lacked respect. For some, the idea that that was a last resort because he couldn't go anywhere else, or we've heard people say it was the 13th grade, or there's some saying, I just can't afford it. Those are all fiction. That's fiction. So let's talk about some of those statements. Since we know those are fiction, what are some of the facts? And we'll start with you, Miss Alicia Small, in terms of, and being an enrolled student, what is a fact that you know about community colleges that negates what some of the negative stereotypes are?
Where do I start? There are a lot of facts. I'll just speak from my personal experience. I started at Montgomery College at a time where in the height of the pandemic. So this was after I did a big move from Brooklyn, New York. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I've been only in Maryland for 2 years. I had a business, a service-based business that started in Brooklyn, but we had to close due to the pandemic because we were serving kids in the public, private, and charter school sector. And so while the kids weren't in school, we couldn't be in business. So I moved, I came here and I started at Montgomery College, and I was interested in life coaching and started my coaching and consulting business. So I saw that they had a coaching program, a coaching certification program. So I enrolled in it. So first, I'll talk about the academic side. Excellent program. I think one of the benefits of going to a community college is, the first word in the title, community. I was welcomed with open arms. They made sure that I had everything that I needed. The flexibility in classes. My children I'm a mom of 3 as well. So at that time, my children were in virtual academy. So there were so many options for me to succeed. That is what their main point was. Their main goal was for me to succeed. So not only did I have flexibility in taking virtual classes, on top of taking virtual classes, my class, which I've never experienced, and I've been in community college before, right when I got out of high school, and then I went to a larger institution. And so that particular class was a teleclass. So not only did I have the flexibility of going to school online, it was through phone, which was very convenient for me because as I said, again, I'm a mom of 3, and my youngest is 4 at the time. So there would be times where I did have to be on class and multitasking, doing something else with my 4-year-old or my 8-year-old at the time, while still being on, and I didn't have to be on Zoom. So that's one aspect. I'll talk about the financial aspect. As I said, again, I came in the height of the pandemic. So my business was closed down. There were a lot of financial hardships that I faced, and I was able to get a scholarship to complete my coaching certification. So I went for free. On top of getting my certification for free, there were other resources that were offered to me if I was having financial difficulties through the Alumni Association. So they bought groceries, they paid bills. They even, on a mental health aspect, the Student Health and Wellness Center, I didn't need that particular resource, but during some volunteering I was doing, they even have a program where they pay for students' therapy. So if you didn't have access to therapy, especially in the pandemic, that was something that was paid for. They had funding for that. So, I'll go on just one more for the sake of time. So it was that, but then also, I'm 38 years old. When I started at Montgomery College, I was 37. So I had been out of college for some years. So, like many mothers going back to school, returning to school after a certain amount of time, you kind of feel that you can't have that real college experience, or that is one of the myths, right? Going to community college, especially at my age and going back to school, you've missed that time to have that college experience. And that was far from the truth. When I got into the coaching certification program, I was also accepted into the leadership development program, which just opened up a ton of doors for me. That's how I met Miss Miller, my mentor now. Even with her not being at the college anymore, she's still connected to me and still mentors me. And I got so many opportunities from it. I've served on several boards at the college. I'm on the student council board now. And two of my other mentors I met through the leadership development program. And I've also had opportunities outside of mentorship. I've also built relationships and had other opportunities, such as I just attended our new college president's inauguration. I was in the actual ceremony. I was invited to be in the ceremony, and I was a part of the procession as a student marshal. I received a business opportunity. I'm actually going to be presenting a workshop at Girls Global Academy on intentional self-care. I have another mentor that I met, another opportunity through the leadership development program, who's helping me form a program for my nonprofit that I'll be opening up soon. So I can go on, but I'll stop there for time's sake. So, I just want to say it wasn't just academics. It was being able to attend college and get my certification for free. So the academics, the financial support, the mental health and wellness support, and then also business opportunities, networking opportunities and connections, and so much more.
And so we could almost end this segment right there after hearing from a student who's able to very succinctly talk about the benefits that she has received. And I think her situation is like many of us. We've got families, we have other obligations, money is tight, schedules are tight, and yet she has thrived. And yes, she did mention that I'm her mentor, but as I have said, she often mentors me. And after listening to her, you can understand why that might be. So Bridget, what might you say is a fiction, or better yet, a fact about community colleges that people perhaps don't know or realize?
Okay, so let's start with the fiction. It is definitely not the 13th grade. The community college has resources and educational programs for everyone who is currently in high school, individuals who already have degrees and who are looking for industry recognized credentials, and for individuals who want to start out in an affordable way to get their education. Most community colleges have relationships with four-year universities, which make it easier for someone who's not quite ready to go to a four-year university to really get the foundation skills and education that they need at an affordable rate at the community college level. One of the facts is it's truly affordable. not only through scholarship opportunities, especially in the state of New Jersey, they have put in so many different resources to support individuals to go back to school where it is affordable. And so I would just say, people think of community colleges as the 13th grade. Business and industry looks at the community colleges more closely for support and helping them meet their workforce development needs more than they do for the universities. Community colleges can change on a dime to develop those training programs, work with businesses to help them meet their workforce development needs. So I would encourage everyone to look at the community college as that initial resource and not the 13th grade. And, oftentimes parents want their children to go to that big time 4-year university. But when you look at that ticket, those general elective courses that they're taking and spending thousands of dollars for, you can get them at the community college for less than a third, 20%. So, oftentimes we have to educate the parents as well in terms of the value of the community college.
That could not be a more true statement. And community college isn't just for students who aren't ready for the 4-year, because you mentioned the big ticket. And so when I started working at community colleges decades ago, right, they didn't have what most have now, which are articulation agreements, and I think many people are not aware that the first 2 years at a 4-year college or university are exactly the same as the 2 years at a community college, but at a much reduced rate. And when you line those programs up and you spend thousands less, but then transfer, if you're indeed interested in getting a bachelor's or even further, and then transfer in as a junior, the money that you have saved is tremendous. And in these economic times, who does not want to or need to save money? So I think that's something that people should think about. The other part about that, and Dr. Colette Mays, maybe you can talk about this. Many community colleges have what they call a dual enrollment, where while you're a high school student, you can also be enrolled at the community college. And at Montgomery, where I most recently was, what I loved during commencement was when the president would say, stand up if you are in high school, getting your high school diploma, and at the same time, you're getting your associate's degree. And that, even just saying that, just gives me chills. And so that meant these 17 and 18-year-olds were about to start at a university as juniors when they were 17 or 18. Dr. Mays, you mentioned having worked with the public schools, with high schools, and helping students get to community college. Your take on that, please?
Well, absolutely. That's one of the pathways that we can get more students involved in the college experience at an earlier age. Most of the universities and community colleges in New Jersey, at least, all have agreements with high schools so that students can enroll in dual credit programs. Either teachers at their own high schools will teach these courses, or community college professors or instructors will come to the high school, or in some cases, the students will go to the community college and take the courses while they're in high school. But any scenario that happens allows them to get the credit while they're in high school. It goes on their transcript, and they're that much more ahead of the game once they finish high school. That's also helping to eliminate some of the stigma about community college, that it's not the 13th grade, that it can, because they're still in high school. So that's working on. I have a short story that helped me even with the stigma part about community college. When we're talking about fiction, I had a student one year who was Asian American, and he had very high SAT scores. And I, was sitting with him one day, and I saw that his college choice was he was going to go to community college. And I said, "Why are you going to choose community college with these SAT scores? You could go to any school that you want in the country." And he was like, "Well, I don't have sports or extracurricular activities to compete with all the other students that go to these 4-year schools. I do have the grades, so I'm going to use my New Jersey Stars program, which in New Jersey gives money to those students that graduate in the top 10% of their class. They can go to community college for free." He said, "So I'm going to do that for 2 years," because he wanted to be a pharmacist. "And then I'm going to transfer to the state school at Rutgers for 4 years in my junior year. And because I will have the grade point average so that I continue getting free tuition, and I'll go to school for a whole 4 years. It won't pay anything." And I was like,
That's right.
wow, that really changed my whole perspective on community college, back in the day when I first started out. And so, I'm a big proponent of community college, especially for those, that either have a plan or don't have a plan of what they want to do, and financial reasons, and to take advantage of all the programs that they can while they're in high school.
That is perfect. And so you dropped so many golden nuggets there talking about the STARS program. So for folks that are listening out there, you have children who are in the top 10% of their class, they can go to the community college for free. So right there, you're saving and keeping money in your pocket, right? And there was a point in time where then you could, if you kept your grades up, you could continue on at the 4-year level with the STARS program and still be free. Is that still in place?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yep. Yep. So these are the opportunities that I think too often that we are missing or that we're not aware of, and think that we can't go to college, we can't afford it. And here are these dollars that we're leaving on the table because there are options out there for those who traditionally have not gone. Um, Major corporations are facing critical shortages of skilled workers in many fields. And so now, instead of requiring a 4-year degree, they're looking for training and credentials. Dr. Mays, Dr. Larky Mays, you talked about the fact that you were in industry for a while. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that the community college, because a lot of them have a moniker, they call themselves the College of Possibilities, meaning that when you go there, you have all these options available to you. There are at least 28 different options at the community college that I teach at, for students to be able to receive certification in their associate's degree. So if we just look at some of those, where are the jobs going to be for the next 10, 12, 20 years? They're are going to be in healthcare, and they're going to be in education. So let's just look at healthcare for an opportunity. You can be a biomedical technician. You can be a radiation therapist. You can be a registered nurse, dental hygienist, diagnostic medical sonographer. You can be a magnetic resonance imaging technologist, a cardiac catheterization technician, respiratory therapist. You can be a radiologist, an occupational therapy assistant, a cardiovascular technology, a physical therapist, a cardiovascular physical therapy assistant, cardiopulmonary technologist, clinical social work aide, an occupational health and safety technology, or a medical equipment even repairer, neurodialogical technologist, and a surgical technological assistant. So that's in the healthcare industry. What if you don't like healthcare? Now you can be an air traffic controller, which is the highest paying job on this particular list. Air traffic controllers make $130,000 a year. If you don't like that, You can be a fashion designer. Or what about a computer forensics specialist? The list goes on and on and on. These are things you can do with a 2-year degree. If you prefer to go on to your 4-year degree, that's something that's certainly beneficial to you. But there you're looking at health science, you're looking at business administration, criminal justice, nursing, psychology, and of course the wealth of colleges opportunities when you get your liberal arts degree. So it is the place where if you don't know what you can do, you walk in the door, and after those 2 years, your world will open up to you. It is the place for opportunities, and typically the undergraduate experience at the community college level is typically more supportive. So Alicia was able to take advantage of the benefits of the community college that she attended because of the nurturing community that's there. That's what a lot of students miss when they're there. They think it's all about the academics. They think it's all about getting the grades. But in fact, it's about the networks you build. And Alicia has taken advantage of that. And I'm sure that she can continue to speak about that because those networks are going to change the direction of her life. They've already changed the direction of her life. She walked in the door 2 years ago, and Alicia is exploding. Her opportunities are going to completely change her life. It already has. Thanks to you, Dr. Jane. You've certainly changed her life.
No, that's all Alicia. I'm going to tell you, that is all Alicia. I mentioned I've been in education for over 40 years. I would love to have been part of the presidential inauguration. She's been at Montgomery College just over a year and led the workforce development group. So you are so correct, Dr. Mays, about doors just bursting open for her. She is coming in contact with not only top faculty and administrators at that institution, but then they see her shine and they're introducing her to other opportunities. And I think that's what our audience needs to hear. And that's why I thought it was so important to have a student on our panel who isn't necessarily looking to get a degree, but get the certifications. I think you all heard her say she's about coaching and mentoring. And so she's gotten a certification in that. But now she's gone back because she wants to reopen and start her business. So she's taking business courses. And so, and it's being paid for. Keep that in mind, folks. And I think that is what draws me to the community college in terms of that being one of the best sectors in higher education. There's magic in the open door mission because they not only have the top performing students, but with open arms, they welcome those students. Maybe you didn't even get your high school diploma. You can still attend the community college. The community college is about meeting you where you are.
Exactly.
And so unlike a large state university where you're in classes with hundreds of people, they really do work with the individual student. And often, especially with us, we may want to go back to school, but maybe we're wondering, how am I paying my rent this month? How am I putting food on the table? And the community college is a place that absolutely addresses those needs with the students. I know Montgomery does a wonderful food, and they don't call it a food pantry, but it's not just for the students, it's for the community. And so community colleges across the board look at doing those types of things, and they look at the student as a whole person. So I hope there are people out there who are listening to this and thinking, I never thought of that as an option, but that's an excellent place to really jump off, get your career started, to restart, maybe to think about another career path. We just heard Dr. Mays list numerous occupations that do not require a 4-year degree, that pay living wages, comfortable wages. And if you're like me, when I was in high school, I thought I was going into the healthcare field till I had a little situation and I passed out. And I'm like, okay, next, education. Right? So there are many, many opportunities. And I said that I taught English, but I've moved into the technology world. And for a long while there, they were requiring 4-year degrees, but they don't. And so Dr. Mays listed a number of programs, opportunities, fields within healthcare, within the technology field. And I'm working at an institution now, and my IT team is 40% vacant. And so I'm about to hire, and I'm removing the bachelor's degree requirement because there are skills that I need to be a good technician, to be my desktop support person who can set up computers, load software, troubleshoot. You don't need a degree to do that.
That's correct.
You need certain certifications. And some of the best techs I've hired used to work at Best Buy. So there are opportunities for you to get those certifications at community colleges. Cybersecurity is huge, huge. And the salary there, I mean, we're talking about starting at 80, 90 and up, right? Everyone is looking for cybersecurity experts just because that's the world that we live in.
That's correct.
Again, those are certifications, much shorter programs, sometimes several months, right? Under a year. And again, with money that's available. So what you want to think about those things. You're not interested, as Dr. May said, there's healthcare, there's the technology, there's early childhood. What if you're good with your hands? There are also the building trades, right? At the community college where I most recently was working, their automotive department was huge, because now there's a commercial like this, right? You're a computer repair person.
Yeah.
Anyone who's purchased a car lately knows it's all about the technology. So many opportunities in terms of where your interests may lie. Maybe you're interested in health, or maybe you're interested in computing, or you're interested in early childhood, or you want to do the coaching, or you want to do the automotive, or you want to be a carpenter. All of those are opportunities that you would not necessarily find at a 4-year institution, but you will find at a community college.
Bridget, can I add something there? Because oftentimes individuals think of academic degrees and certificate programs, but the community colleges offer a variety of non-credit industry recognized credential programs in advanced manufacturing. You know, you did mention automotive, a wide variety. And I will say in New Jersey, offshore wind is a new emerging industry. And the two key educators and educational institutions involved with that are community colleges. Rowan College of South Jersey, as well as Atlantic Cape Community College, is working with the state of New Jersey and the companies that are coming in to develop apprenticeship programs, to develop those certificate programs, to prepare people for starting wages that's going to be over $60,000 to start without a degree, with training that's less than a month. So that's where I think individuals need to look at, because oftentimes they look at the trades and think they need to go to the proprietary schools and where they spend $30,000 and $40,000 to become automotive techs or in advanced manufacturing, and they can do that for less than half the price at a community college. So I think it's important don't make the community college your plan B, make it your first one that you start with to make sure, see if they have what you need before you go spend $250,000 on an education.
Before you go elsewhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
The state of Maryland, Dr. Mays, go right ahead.
That is in fact the role of the community college as it stands today. People would just take advantage of it. That's how the community college is designed. That's how it's built. So there are all these opportunities out there for employment. You just need the certifications and take advantage of what those programs have to offer. Dr. Satchel, Bridget would be able to confirm it, but at the cost of a a credit. One credit at one of the local colleges here, the community colleges, is $175. And that means a course costs you $525. And if you take 5 courses a semester, that's $2,600. That's like $5,000 a year. So at the end of 2 years, that's $10,000. If you transfer, and the way the program is set up in New Jersey, you take your 3rd year at the community college, and then you only take your senior year on campus at Rowan. So you have gotten your college degree for less than $30,000.
Yes.
That's real money. That's real savings. So if you're concerned about that and you're concerned about the quality of education that you're getting, it's a misnomer. That's just to put it in dollars and cents. You've gotten your degree from Rowan University for less than $30,000 in total.
Yeah.
In comparison to a student who did their whole 4 years at Rowan.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. And you leave with the exact same degree and credentials.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. And we talk about the nurturing aspect. So I mentioned I had been at Camden County College, and in the city of Camden, their campus there actually shared the facility with Rutgers University, so that students who started at Camden County College but actually wanted that 4-year degree could stay right in that same facility and continue in their junior and senior year and still have those support systems in place. Because sometimes we just need a little more support. Mm-hmm. And that makes all the difference in the world in terms of us being a successful student. So there are all of these types of opportunities that are being made available. And as corporations are looking, and that's the other thing about a community college, businesses go to community colleges to help them reinvigorate, change their programming. And the reason why they go to community colleges to do that, first of all, that's where they want to get their workforce, but also because they know that community colleges are quicker and they've got the flexibility and they're going to meet the need. So keep that in mind, especially as you're looking at the careers that are available to you. And again, we mentioned that corporations are facing critical shortages in skilled employees. And so those companies are not only saying no more 4-year degrees, but they're looking to the community college to provide them that workforce. Yeah, so I think you want to be a part of that. The idea that community colleges are well positioned to address the demand, given their emphasis on workforce development, which is the area where Alicia is working and getting her various certifications. Why do you think, Alicia, that the community college where you are is well positioned to address the demand?
I think that they're well positioned to address the demand because, as you said before, they are at a university. And like I said, I went to Kingsborough Community College right out of high school, and then I went to Toro in New York. So I've experienced both. And I think that the main thing is that when you're at a community college, you're not just a number, right? That smaller environment, they are able to, you get more personalized care. And so I think that that's one of the biggest reasons why they can meet the demand.
What type of certification are you working on now, Alicia, if I can ask? I did just ask.
Yeah, so I just finished my coaching certification in the spring. And so now I'm going back. I'm taking one class before my business courses, the business certification, but I'm taking one class so that I can add, and that's conflict resolution. so that I can add another service to my coaching and consulting business, because I do the life coaching, but then I also do a lot of mentorship. And I'm also in the process of building a program for my nonprofit, to where I'm taking a multi-generational approach to family restoration through mother-daughter relationships. So having um, that conflict resolution um, certification to add to my program is one of the goals that I had as well.
That's fabulous. And what Alicia is doing, they call that stackable credentials. So she has several areas of interest for her business. And so she already received the coaching certification. Now she's getting business certifications. And then because of some mentoring and a program, I happen to know she's looking to open a business to fill a gap that she's been seeing with certain folks, that she's getting that additional certification, stackable credentials, which then makes her more valuable in a lot of different areas that she has keen interests in. So, what that says is she has designed her own program. So it's not something that's in the catalog. She knows, I'm interested in this. I want to open a business in this. I want to be able to do this to help my community. And to be able to do this in the community, I need to have a credential. The community college is helping her do that.
And
Dr. Larky may.
we'd never have that flexibility at a traditional school, because they have a traditional program that they must follow, and the community college has the flexibility for her to be able to do that, and most schools will not allow that. So, which is excellent.
Right.
And that is right on, and that gets back to what we were saying about the community college meets you where you are and looks at each student's individual needs. And again, the four-year institution is pretty much a lot more, is prescriptive, right? And so she wouldn't be able to stack credentials like that. And that's what
not in such a short period of time. I mean, you're talking
Right.
about the amount of time that she's spending to do this. She's able to do this in less than 3 years, I would presume.
Right.
But she's been able to do all that in that short period of time.
in a year's time. Right.
That's amazing.
And so I saw her reaching, and so I think her little 5-year-old was there. Then she disappeared. So that's part of what happens, right?
No question about it.
This is live. This is real. She explained that she asked all three of her children, stay upstairs, don't make a sound. Was that the 5-year-old? Yes. But this is what our virtual world has been. If over the past several years, when we were totally virtual, it was not unusual to see people in a meeting such as this, and their pet runs in, or a little one runs in without their diaper on, all of those things. That's just real life, right?
No
So we all acknowledge that. We know that that's what that is, and she's back. So glad you're back. I think we spent a little bit of time now talking about community colleges bolstering relationships with the private sector, so that they can align the workforce skills, roles, and responsibilities. Is there anywhere else where we've seen this occur that we have not already touched on? Dr. Corlett Mays.
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered the gamut of possibilities and the reason why, community college is a great choice for many individuals, for academic reasons, financial support, all kinds of things. So I think we've covered it all.
I think
I
Sister
think you're
Satchel
right.
can add about.
I would like to add something in terms of how community colleges support business and industry.
Yes.
And in the state of New Jersey, the Department of Labor has allocated, I believe it's like $3 million that they make available to small businesses who need to upskill their employees. So if their employees work at least 20 hours a week and they need to improve their basic skills or technical skills, there's financial resources available to them through the community colleges, through their workforce development or their continuing education departments. So many times, a lot of those resources aren't tapped into because many businesses aren't aware of that. And I think that it's key for many small businesses to really be aware that, hey, if you need computer skills, your staff needs leadership or supervisory skills or any other sort of technical skills, reach out to your community college, because not only could they support you with putting a plan in place, they can get you the resources to help you with upskilling your staff in terms of helping retain them and meeting your future needs. So that is one of the best kept secrets at the community colleges, that, you know, collectively at the state level and community college level, we really need to push that out to our business, especially the small business owners.
I agree. Could not agree more. Alicia.
So one of the things I wanted to add on, and I just thought about that I heard at the inauguration where they were announcing all of the new funding that and donations that Montgomery College were getting throughout the year. One of the things that they said, because I am a small business owner, so one of the things that they were doing, and I think this adds on to the last question that you asked me, AJ was yelling upstairs in the background, so I was kind of distracted. But one of the great things that they're doing is that they're partnering with a lot of small businesses to basically adding them on as their thought partners, because they are telling the small businesses are telling the colleges what type of skills, right? What type of skills that they're looking for, what type of jobs that they're putting out there, and in return, the community college is saying, okay, so these are the type of programs that we're going to create. These are the type of jobs that you're offering. These are the type of skills that you need. And so they're partnering with these small businesses, or they're partnering with the community college to build these programs.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so whether it's a major corporation or the Maryland and other states are starting to look at what Maryland recently did, where they determined that they would no longer require a bachelor's degree for more than half of their jobs. So more than half of the state jobs no longer require a bachelor's. Imagine that. Other states are now looking to do something very similar. Right. So we talked about community colleges meeting students where they are, right? The class rank, your GPA, your SAT scores, those are not really relevant. They're not relevant in the community college world, right? What should the barometer, but in certain schools, that's how they measure quality, right? What should the barometer of quality be?
I guess the measure, if you want to look at it, is your ability to, and I think they call them soft skills. Your ability to communicate, your ability to write well, your ability to negotiate, be able to work in groups, be able to work in teams. All of those things are developed at the community college level. Yes. So it's not the GPA. It's more of how your social skills are. Are you able to communicate? Do you have a resume that's free of mistakes? Can you write a memo? Can you write a report? Because you have to be able to do all those things without error, and you'll be able to learn those things at the community college level. But that's how you measure success. I think that's how you're measured. At least at the community college level. If it's not going to with the GPA score, look at those soft skills that you're able to develop at that particular level. The other thing I wanted to add to Bridget's point of, that she was talking about what colleges at the community college level, what they offer, is they have something called incubators. So let's say Alicia has a business that she wants to start, and she doesn't have a space to be able to open her office, or to be able to grow her business. Incubators have shared space where you can come in, open your office. They have a computer. They have others like-minded people working in a shared space that's offered for free. so that now you have a place to be able to start your business. And most community colleges, at least I know in New Jersey, have this incubator space, certainly in Philadelphia as well, where small businesses can take opportunity or have the opportunity to establish and open their businesses in a place. If they don't have enough money, use the incubator space as a shared space so that they now be able to start their businesses in a place that other people are working together and they're sharing that particular space. We're in a shared environment and everybody's thinking the same way. They want to be able to grow their businesses, and these incubators are there to help them.
That's excellent, excellent. Any others in terms of what the barometer of quality should be?
I was just going to say, from an academic viewpoint, community college also offers a second chance to those students that, went away to those four-year institutions and didn't do as well as they thought they would, or, their finances became an issue, or what reason they became ill, and have to come home. And instead of coming home and, being discouraged that, things didn't work out at the school of their choice, and now they've just got to work. No, they can continue, on with their studies by regrouping and going, seeking out a community college in their area, so they can stay engaged in whatever, academic avenue they were on. And until they feel that they've recouped, they could stay there the whole time and earn an associate's degree and, go on back to a four-year school if that's what they want to do, or not. But it offers a second chance for a lot of students that, had issues and concerns and problems at their four-year institutions. And, they don't have to feel discouraged that they failed. So.
That is such a good point, and it gets back to meeting students where they are, right? And so when you're at the community college, if you didn't do well at a four-year or a state university, community college is going to have those tutoring services.
Yes.
They're going to have those advising services where that person is going to be able to talk to the advisor about what classes to take. Well, maybe you shouldn't take chemistry, calculus, and
right.
Physics and whatever all at the same time. How about we do this? And so those kind of supports are absolutely there. But the other side of that is for the student who is doing well. What I have seen, students who are at four-year colleges and universities during the summer will take their general education courses, the ones that aren't necessarily for their major, right, at the community college, because it's the exact same course, but at a reduced fee. And so they're getting, and they're getting those credits at a reduced rate. It's still going on their transcript. And so I've seen that too, students who are doing very well. The courses aren't offered at their four-year institution during the summer, but they're offered at the community college. So people find various ways to take advantage. And what I see is that not enough of us see and know that these types of services, these types of opportunities are absolutely available to each and every one of us. We're getting close to 8 o'clock. I'd like to go around just one more time and get perhaps some final words from everyone. And we'll start with, who will we start with?
I'll start.
All right, Bridget.
So I think in our conversation, one thing we weren't really able to address is the affordability. And in New Jersey and across the nation, you were hearing about free community college. Well, in New Jersey, we have the Community College Opportunity Grant available. And it's not based upon grades. It's based upon your adjusted gross income. So if your family's adjusted gross income is $65,000 or less, you can qualify for free tuition at the community college. And recently, the state has increased that up to $85,000, where it wouldn't be totally free, you would get it at a discounted rate. And that same type of program continues at the 4-year college, state colleges and university. I believe it's called the Garden State Scholarship or something along those lines. But it's that same opportunity to make education affordable. And I will say many of the community colleges also partner with the local chambers of commerce. So like I know at my college at Rowan College of South Jersey, any employer and their employees can get 1/3 off of their tuition at our community college. So it's those type of programs that we need to make sure everyone is aware of, or especially if they work at a company, ask the question if your employer is a member of a local chamber, because then you're getting those discounts in addition to any other financial supports that are available to you to make your tuition, if not free, very close to.
Bridget, that was perfect in terms of what that says is you don't have any excuse.
Correct.
You can go for free or at a much reduced rate in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Pennsylvania has something very similar. I know that Maryland and Delaware do also. And I think most community colleges are really trying to do that. But for those who are listening and watching, and they're in New Jersey, you can go for free, people. And we named a number of job opportunities where you can go right to work and make a really good living or continue on and to get your degree. Anyone else want to make some final words?
Well, we've often heard that, and they make the statement all the time that maybe college isn't for everyone. And that's from the point of view, well, maybe a 4-year college isn't for everyone. The jobs that are being called for today don't require a 4-year degree. So just look at the wealth of opportunities that community colleges offer. Make sure you look at all those opportunities, and I'm sure you'll find something that's going to be able to provide you with, Jane mentioned, a living wage, which is the principal thing today. You don't have to work 3 or 4 jobs working at McDonald's or any of those kinds of jobs. You can find a job with a certification from a community college that will pay you a living wage, a viable earning a wage that you can use to be able to live your life the way you want to live your life.
I couldn't agree with that more. I'm not sure what middle class means anymore, but I always felt
That's why I
that
don't use that word anymore.
I know, but I always felt that the community college was the gateway and the pathway to that. And so instead of saying middle class, I find myself saying more a living wage, one where you are comfortable and your family is comfortable, and you know you can put food on the table, and you know you can pay your rent or your mortgage. So those are the things that we worry and stress about, and these are ways to get yourself into a better situation and actually start looking at a legacy for your children and other members of your family. Final words from anyone else? I think we have 2 minutes.
So
I was just going to say that I just think as educators, we've all kind of been indoctrinated to, promote going to college is the goal and the key to having a successful life. And I think we all have to retrain our minds and other educators to do the due diligence to say, hey, there is another viable option out here, and that is community college. And we all have to do a better job at marketing the benefits of community college as a whole.
Perfect. Higher education is not one size fits all. We are all very different. And so it's up to each of us and each of you to determine what a good school is for you. And I think we're out of time. It's 8:00. I want to thank our panel. This has been fabulous. And I hope that everyone was able to gather 1 or 2 golden nuggets from this panel. Thank you, everyone. Good night.